welcome to today. Today we will talk about the networking fundamentals, which is there in your unit 2 of session 2. Okay, before we enter into this chapter, I just wanted to give some introduction on network. So what normally a network means? Network is nothing but a group of people or a system interconnected together. So that is the literal meaning of the term network. When it comes to the computer network, it is nothing but the collection of computers and other hardwares connected or interconnected together. What could be the reason for the computers to be connected to each other? Maybe two primary reasons: for sharing of resources. For example, for sharing of printers. You may be having only one printer, but you may have several computers. In that case, we can use the printer as a resource, right? And sometimes you may need to pass information from one computer to the other computer. In that case, we can say the other purpose is to pass on the information, right? In the network, we do have two type of architecture, that is peer-to-peer and client-server architecture. What do you mean by the term peer? The term peer itself refers to someone who is near to you or someone who is in equal capability to you, right? So that is the literal meaning of the term peer. So when I say peer to peer, it means that the computers which are all of in equal status, they are all connected together to each other. In that case, we call it as peer to peer architecture, and they are connected to pass on the information. And client server is another architecture where the server is a powerful machine which will be controlling the client. The client may request for information to the server, and the server may pass on the information to the clients. Let's see the architecture in detail. Okay, this is the peer to peer model. Look at this. All the computers are just interconnected. They are connected in some way, either directly or indirectly. They are interconnected to each other. Let's see the definition, what they have given. A peer-to-peer architecture consists of a decentralized network of peers. It's not centralized, it is decentralized. What does it mean? It means that there is no centralized server or something which is dominating or passing the information or commanding the other computer. It's just a decentralized network, right? It is distributed, the workload is distributed between the peers, right? So this picture gives a clear information about the peer-to-peer model, right? Then let's move on to the client server architecture. Here in this model, the server, as I told you before, is the powerful machine which manages the most of the resources, whatever the resources that is consumed by the peers. In this picture, here the server is managing one PC, one personal computer, managing one mobile, and managing a laptop. This type of architecture, we call it as client server architecture. This client server architecture is mainly used for business purposes when mainly in an organization, right? Okay, now we will talk about the types of networks that we have. We have two types of networks, that is a local area network and the wide area network. The local area network is a network that is the network that covers the smaller area. We call it as a local area network, and maybe it is in a single room or within a building or in a group or a smaller group. We can say that we call it as a local area network. And wide area network is something like beyond the geographical area. Say for example, I'm sitting here and I wanted to get connected with a system somewhere a little far away from my place, maybe not even in the country or not away from my city. In that case, I will go ahead and use the wide area network. So let's see the definition of wide area network. It's a computer network that spans a relatively large geographical area. Typically, a WAN consists of two or more local, even two or more LANs can get connected, and it will become a wide area network, right? Okay. Let's go on to internet. What do you mean by internet? Everyone knows nowadays without internet we can't even live. That is the situation right now. The internet is a global system where the computers are interconnected using a standard protocol or a suite of or a set of protocols, right? What do you mean by protocol? Protocols are nothing but set of rules. Okay, so internet is a group of or globally systems are connected using a set of internet protocols, right? That we say it as internet. Normally it is a network of networks. That is the word that we use it for, internet. So whenever someone asks what is internet, we can say in a simple definition, that is internet is nothing but network of networks, that it contains millions of private, public, academic, business and government networks, right? So that is called as internet. Okay, so every day in the internet we are using something called browser. What do you mean by the browser? Yes. What do you mean by browser? Browser is nothing but a software which is there in your desktop, which helps you to, which serves as a interface between you and the server, that is the World Wide Web. So whatever the page you wanted to visit, you will be visiting using something called browser, which acts as an interface to display whatever you wanted to view. Okay, a web browser is a software used to view websites and access an interface between the user and the World Wide Web. Now, what do you mean by hypertext or hyperlink? Okay, you just before we go ahead with that, examples of browser in your system, I can say Internet Explorer, Firefox, Google Chrome. These are all the examples of the browser. Okay, I just opened one site and I completed reading one particular site and I wanted to move on further. Or in the first paragraph itself, if it has a link to any other document or any other further pages, we call that particular text as a hypertext, which has a link to the other page, right? So hypertext is a text displayed on a computer display or other electronic devices which has its reference to the other pages, right? So that we call it as a hypertext. Okay. Now the hypertext documents are interconnected by hyperlink. The hypertext, which is in the website, you will be having some text which will be highlighted. If you click on to that, it will have a link to the other side. That link is called as hyperlink and the text is called as hypertext. Yes. Now coming back to World Wide Web. This World Wide Web, we can call it as W3 or WWW. It is a system of interlinked hypertext document accessed via the internet. So that is the reason like I explained what is hypertext before we go ahead and see the definition for WWW. So it's a World Wide Web. It is a system of interlinked hypertext documents accessed. How we can access it? Through the internet, right? That is WWW. Okay, what could be the advantages of networking? Definitely it is for sharing of data sharing and hardware sharing. I told you before itself, like printer, sharing of printer, fax machine, all these hardwares we can use it, right? And then internet access sharing. So we are all using the internet. That is the greatest advantage of the networks nowadays, right? We are getting connected with our families and friends who are there abroad only through this internet access sharing. And usage of network based applications. Yes, mostly nowadays all the applications are nowadays has become a network based applications. Standalone applications or something which is pertaining only to your system, which can be installed in your system. Nowadays there are so many applications which comes as a network based application. For example, your Amazon shopping site is there, or Flipkart is there, right? So that is a network based application. You are doing something in that application and you're buying something and you're placing the order, which is again connected to the other application the main server where it is interconnected to pass on your information, right? That is the usage of network based applications. Now, okay, we'll move on to the next topic, that is internet service provider. Who are called as this internet service provider? The organization or the business which is providing the network to you, those businesses are called as internet service provider, right? And they provide the internet via either a dial-up modem or a direct hardwired or wireless connection. So there are three ways they can provide you the connection. It's a dial-up, which is the old method, and the next is a direct, that is hardwired, and the last is wireless connection. Okay, so for small and medium business, this cable modem, dial-up, broadband wireless, Wi-Fi, WiMAX or 3G is enough. What about for a medium or large business? In that case, we'll go for high speed DSL with ISDN. Okay. Now we will see one by one what are all these things. Okay. Now first we'll talk about modem. We'll try to understand what is a modem, and then we will see which comes under wired and which comes under wireless. Modem is nothing but the definition says it's a modulator or demodulator. It is the work of the modem is to convert the digital signal whichever it received to analog signal and analog to digital. So that is the work of this device called modem. Okay. Now, what are all the common internet connectivity? As I told you, we have dial-up, DSL wired, cable internet access wired, 3G wireless, WiMAX wireless, and Wi-Fi wireless. Okay. In this 7, 3G wireless, WiMAX wireless, and Wi-Fi wireless are the wireless methods. The other three are wired method. Okay, dial-up connection. This picture explains you about the dial-up connection. How actually the internet is received to your home through the dial-up connection. Here they are using your telephone lines as the base for getting the internet connection. The service provider will be providing you the internet connection where you will be having a modem in between. This modem receives the signal as a digital signal and pass on these digital signals to through the telephone lines, and again at the receiver end you will be having a modem which converts into analog and then pass on to the computer, and again the vice versa happens here. Okay, so that's about the analog dial-up method. Okay, the next is DSL. DSL is a digital subscriber line. Here we have one disadvantages in dial-up. When you're using internet, you cannot use your telephone line because here the telephone line serves as a medium to transfer the information. So whenever you're working with the internet, you cannot use the telephone, or if you receive a call, the internet connection gets disconnected. But it is DSL is something an advanced of this dial-up connection. We have a modem in between, yes, and at your home when you receive the signal, we have a splitter here. You can see the splitter. It splits the signals. It splits the phone signals, the analog signal and the digital signals, and sends it to the modem, and the modem takes it to the computer, and the analog reaches the phone line. Just it has a splitter which divides these two so that you can use your phone line as well as your computer, that is the internet, at the same time. That is the DSL. And here it goes the cable internet access, which is the widely used nowadays. It uses the cable, the network cable, which we use it for our television infrastructure. That cable we use it for receiving the internet connection to your home. Okay, the other advanced is the 3G data technology, which we are using it through our phone towers to pass the signals. The phone towers are used to pass the signals, and through this 3G we are getting high speed internet connection compared to dial up or DSL. Here the Data signal is passed through the most nearest tower, whichever the tower you have nearby. Through that telephone tower your data signal is passed, and then the protocol used for this particular 3G technology is high speed downlink packet access. It is a 3G mobile telephony communication protocol which allows higher data transfer speeds and capacity. So if you have a 3G available in your phone, it's well and good. You will be able to use the 3G speed connection. So the next is WiMAX. Okay. What is the difference between the WiMAX and the 3G or the other thing is, whenever the location doesn't support either the DSL or the dial-up connection, or especially that you cannot use the cable for a longer distance, in that case they go for this WiMAX connectivity. This WiMAX, the expansion for this is worldwide interoperability for microwave access. So that is the expansion for that. It is typically that used in the place where people cannot use the DSL or cable because of the difficulty of laying the cables. In that case they use the Wi-Fi Max. And then Wi-Fi, you all know it very nicely, right? That is the wireless technology that we have it nowadays, and it allows an electronic devices like the computer or the mobile phones to exchange data wirelessly over a network, including high speed internet connections. And this uses the WAP technology to connect the network resources such as internet, PC, smartphones, video games, console, etc. It is a device. WAP is a device that helps to connect the network resources. When I say network resources, I mean here the personal computers, smartphones, video games, console, etc. through Wi-Fi, right? Okay. The next is, okay, we spoke a lot about network. We are talking about the transmission of data over the internet. Have you ever thought how the data has been transferred from one place to the other place? Is it that easy? Everything happens in a few seconds, but have you ever thought how it happens? Yes, through the protocols. Let's see in brief how it is getting transferred. Here, when the data is transferred, first it gets converted to a packet. When I say it's a packet, along with the packet a header will be attached. Okay, in that header the address of that particular data where it has to reach, the destination where the data has to reach, that will be mentioned in the header. Also the address of the data from where it is originated, both will be included in the header. That packet is sent via the network, and based on the address in the header the packet is sent to the destination. It, before it reaches to the destination, it might have traveled through so many other computers, and the computer which it receives first, it will check the header. If it is to that particular destination, it will take up the data, else it will resend the data to the next computer. And when it reaches the destination, the data which is arrived will be reassembled again in the order which it has to be displayed to the user. And then if the pocket is lost or somewhere, if any of the data is not arrived properly, the destination will request for the resending of the data to the starter, the person who sends the data. That is how it is sent. This is an overview of how the data is sent, but it has, at the background, it has so much of technology involved. The protocol is involved to send the data from one place to another place. Yes. And now I have a question now. Okay, now you wanted to go for a network connection at your home. So what is that coming to your mind before you take up a connection? The first is the internet service provider. You might be thinking of the better internet service provider who can give you the higher speed without any problem. And the usage, how often you are going to connect to the internet, that is the next question. And how much of data will be needed. So these are all the things that will come to your mind, and based on your usage, you will be choosing what kind of plan or provider you will go for. Okay. So once you get connected to the Wi-Fi connection, everything. Okay, now I'll show you how the wireless will be displayed on the system tray in your system. I'm using Windows 8. I have taken the screenshot in the Windows 8 Pro. In your book, they have given Windows XP. That looks different, a little bit different. Do you see this Wi-Fi Rajans 2? And this is the wireless signal. It is shown there. And when you click on to that, you will be having the available Wi-Fi range, Wi-Fi available in that particular range. So now I have only one wireless in that particular range, that is Rajans is getting displayed. If you have more than any other Wi-Fi signals, if you are getting it, all the Wi-Fi signals will be shown in this particular screen. Okay, that's all about the fundamentals of network. Have a great day. Thank you for watching today. Have a great day. Bye.